Hello beauties, and we are back with another beauty tutorial, and we're going to jump right into it. Welcome to my channel for the newbies that are here. Today we're doing a awesome cut crease. It's a colorful cut crease, something I haven't done in a while on this page, so I was more excited about doing this than anything because it's been a minute. So we're going to do our brows first because I love doing my brows first. It shapes my face. I'm going in with a black pencil. You can use whatever medium you want to carve out and shape your brows, but I choose pencil for me because it's easier to control. It fills in the gaps of what I have, and it's easy for me to spread. Of course, I do use pomades and powders whenever I can, and I have other videos and tips to show that, but I prefer a pencil. After I shape my brows the way that I want to clean it up, I go in with a concealer just to make sure that everything's straight. Taking a tan concealer closer to my skin shade or skin tone shade, foundation shade, just a little lighter, and carving out and mapping out my brows, cleaning up any mistakes I have made, making sure that it is sharp the way I like it. And then I'm going to also use that concealer and set that as my eyeshadow base and blend that out as much as possible to make sure that we have a nice even base to work with. Now I'm taking my Quad palette by Juvia's Place and using that yellow tone as my transition shade, going above and into my crease area in my eyelid, taking that same medium fluffy brush that we use to smooth out our concealer, taking that and using that to blend out everything. I kind of wipe it off just a bit, but I kind of use it after blending out my concealer because it is sort of tacky or picks up color just a little bit better in my opinion. Taking that color, blending it into the crease area, making sure that everything is nice and blended using the windshield wiper motion. Then I'm going to follow that up with my Urban Decay Electric Collection in the color Urban, and blending that on the outer third and into the crease area as well using another fluffy brush. I want this as compacted and opaque as possible, so as many times as we need to get the color, we're going to do it, just making sure that everything is nice, evenly blended and distributed throughout the look. And of course, we don't have to use as much pressure or as much pigment as you may think me stating that, because these pigments are very pigmented, so I don't have to use a lot in order to get the payout that I want. We're just going in, building it up, intensifying the color, making sure that it gives me a nice coverage, making sure that it gives me the intensity that I'm looking for, and making sure that it is nice and blended to set up the stage for the other colors. Following that up, I'm going in with another Juvia's Place palette, and we're using the color Purple. I used two other Juvia's Place palettes in this collection. In this eyeshadow look. I'm using the Zulu palette and the Warrior palette 3, and I'm using both of the purples out of both of those palettes to intensify the look. One is a little bit more red and one is a little bit more blue tone, and the one I went in with first from Urban Decay was more of a shimmer, so they kind of all blend together. I know you probably can't really pick them up on camera as much as you can see them in person, but trust me, it was worth me wasting time to go back and forth between the colors, okay? Let me just say it like that. Cleaning up my crease area, or making sure that it is very crisp, I'm taking a little bit of eyeshadow, Jesus Christ, makeup remover with a Q-tip, and carving out the shape of my eye and making sure that everything is crisp and to my liking. I'm going to take my time, small, short strokes, and clean up the area to make sure that you can see the definition of the crispiness of the crease. Okay, we want that mug sharp, sharp, okay, sharp. So after that, I'm taking a flat concealer brush, or you can use it as a lip brush. I'm going in with a color that I use. I believe that is from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette, and I'm going to line the crease area that we cut out and making sure that it is super crisp and defined. So I want a real line of demarcation. So after I'm satisfied with that, I'm taking a fair concealer with the same concealer brush that we used earlier. Of course, it's cleaned now because we don't want the colors too muddy or mix. And I'm going in and cut out that crease to make sure you can really see the colors we are adding on, and blending out the ends because I want gradient or blending to happen between the colors, where you can tell where one color starts and one color stops. Because they're well blended together. You can't tell, not that you can't. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Y'all can just watch the video. And don't forget to leave comments, okay? And stuff in the videos. I don't just be doing this for my health. I be doing it for feedback. Thank you. Making sure that everything is nice and crisp and even. We're going back in with the Zulu palette, and we're going to use the orange and the yellow out of that because they are very pigmented and they match the vibe of this look. I wanted something bright, fun, playful, and eye-grabbing, and trust me, these colors will give you just that. I'm taking a fluffy eyeshadow brush and going in and with a packing motion, packing that pigment right on top of the concealer that we cut out earlier. And as you can see, mwah, chef's kiss. Girl, you do not need a lot of pigment from that palette in order to get the payout that you need. This is why I stick with Juvia's Place, and I don't care what nobody think. All right, you get your bang for your buck with these people. I love that company. I need to be sponsored by these people, okay, at least one time, because I really rock with them. I really rock with Juvia's Place. Going in with the yellow from the same palette, and as you can see, I'm using the other side of that brush, and I don't mind using the other side because I'm going to blend them two together anyway, so that's why I kind of go back and forth. But yeah, you see how it just blends all together and it's just beautifully packed and pigmented. Look how pigmented that is, girl. Get up, get into it. Do you see it? Oh my God. And go make sure that the other colors aren't muddled out and everything just makes a statement, girl. Just clock it. Yas, girl, yas. Going back in and touch up that purple. Look at that. Just beautifully blending it together. That's what I'm talking about. So I love doing this. Everything just pays out so beautifully together. And it's just the gradient effect where you can't really tell when one color starts and the other one stops. It's just beautifully blended. Oh my God. See, that's why I do this. I do this for y'all. Because look at that. Yes, girl. Just get it together. Now, after finishing up the finishing touches, I'm prepping the face in order to do my foundation lay, cleaning up whatever I need to clean up. And while that is setting and getting familiar with the skin, I'm taking a little bit of glitter I found off of Amazon. It's an iridescent yellow glitter, and I'm going to add that onto the lid without taking too much away from the look. I just want a little bit of sparkle, not too much. I feel like it added just the right amount of pizzazz for this look, and again, without taking away from all the work that we did. That's why I went with a more yellow iridescent than more of a silver or any other color, because it just blends in together and gives the same effect of what we've done with the pigments. Now, if you don't like glitter or you want to keep the look, this is an optional step. You don't necessarily have to do it, but you can definitely add it to every other look that you want to do if you are a glitter girly. It just, for me, depends on the mood. So after that, I'm going in with a little bit of more Urban Decay in the very inner corner of my eye. It's Cosmic. It's one of their shades. I don't even think they have anymore. And of course, we're using the 332 in the 30 hour Stay Wear from Maybelline. Normally I use the Fit Me matte in the 222 and 230, but I just decided to go with the 232 in the Stay because I feel like it was just a perfect blend of both. The formula for me, compared to the old formula that they have for the Stay Wear, I feel like this one's a little more loose than the other one. And the other one was a thicker formula, but it still covers just as well. So of course we're going in after covering the face, blending everything out, making sure that everything is nice, sharp, neat, and blended, girl. Okay, gotta have fun with this because it's a very, very beautiful, eye-catching look, and we want everything to be smooth. If you did all that work, of course we need the face to compliment, girl. You know, have them understand how you coming. After blending everything, we're taking our Huda Beauty in Blondie, right? And setting the face. And then we're going to mark just a little bit. You don't have to do this, but I do it to sharpen my bronzer or contour, just to give me a more defined look. But you don't necessarily have to do it at all, okay? So I'm taking what we used earlier, that fluffy brush from the very beginning, when we used our Juvia's Place Honey palette, that Honey Quad palette. I'm taking that very same color and contouring my nose with it because it complements the look so well and gives me that awesome definition of what I need. Going in with the Juvia's Place palette, the Zulu palette, and using that brown from the top row and contouring my face with it and just bringing this entire look all together. And as you know, I have a technique for bronzers and contours. I use big circles towards the temple or the top of my jawline where the temple and the cheek are, and use smaller circles along the lower part of my jawline towards the mouth, okay? So big circles towards the top, small circles towards the bottom, and a nice 1-2 stripe wipe, however, back and forth, just a straight line back and forth whenever I need it to really be defined. But I normally blend it upwards so everything could be, you know, complementary. We want the look to be lifted and to complement the face shape as much as possible. And of course I do go underneath my chin just to make sure that it's very defined. You don't necessarily have to do it, but that's just a preference of mine. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on the way I feel that day. I'm not gonna lie to you. And of course, we do not, you heard me? We do not take away any excess powder off of our face with a very clean brush. As in, yes, the brush is clean, but you do not touch your face with a clean brush to take off excess powder. You go in with a finishing powder or a translucent powder close to your foundation shade, okay? Now we're finishing the look up, polishing it off with our Tarte highlighter in Stunner, and I went with this one because it's like a copper gold, and it just again complements the look. I want the eyes to be the first thing you see, and I want everything else to complement, and it just works so well and beautifully with the skin tone. And of course we have that kind of powdery look, and we want everything to melt into the skin just very well. So I take a little bit of setting spray and spray in between me layering on the highlighter. Finishing off the look, we're going in with our liner. I'm using an e.l.f. Fluid liner, and it is in black, as you can see. And I'm taking my time and lining the lower part of my lashes, or the close to the lash line, not the lower part of my lashes, Jesus Christ. Lower, I can't talk right now because they got all these notifications while I'm doing this voiceover, and I'm trying to read and do this at the same time. Shameful, ain't it? Multitasking. Anyway, putting the liner on close to the lashes as possibly can, right? Because we want the lashes, our natural lashes, to blend well with the falsies that we're going to put on top. And I get close to the lash line as much as possible, not to show the pigment that we put down earlier, if that makes sense, because sometimes it can still kind of peek through. So I kind of make sure I get close to the lash line as much as possible. And yes, I do go over the glitter. And another beauty point or a tip that you can add, whenever it's tacky, it's still tacky or starting to really dry, you can take black eyeshadow and go along the line that you've already made for the liner to really deepen it. okay? And then let it dry all together. And of course, I'm putting on my lashes. I do have a video for that if you girlies want to learn or get better at putting on lashes. I use my fingers, but most of the time I use my tweezers because I just get more control over the lash. And I make sure that the lash is a little bit tacky before I try to apply them, because once they get tacked down, I don't have to worry about them lifting throughout the day. So I let it get tacky for a little minute, like 30 seconds really, and then apply them as much as I need to, well, apply the pressure as much as I need to, move them, adjust them as much as I need to, and that is pretty much the look. So thank you girlies for hanging with me, right? Oh my God. This look is just, oh, I miss color. I miss color so much. Look at this, just fabulous. Don't forget to like, subscribe, right? Share, and leave comments so I can know what you babies want to see next. Okay, beauties? I love you guys. Thank you so much for all of the things that you have done for me to get to this place, because this platform has grown. If you have not noticed, I've been getting more followers and more engagement. So I know you guys hear me when I say engage more, because you know it's been showing, and I thank you for that, taking the time out of your day to watch what we're doing and, you know, making more suggestions. I really take heed to that because the engagement helps me grow my platform and to learn more of what I need to learn. Okay, so thank you so much, and I'll check you babies later. But yeah, I'm putting on the gloss and the combo, girl. But yeah, leave comments and stuff like that. I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of your video. Okay, bye. Did y'all check out the rest of my videos on the channel? Okay, this is it. I'm gonna leave. Goodbye. Love y'all.